I'm Katie Martin.
And I'm Chris Hicks, and we're Extension Agents with the University of Tennessee.
Every day, Extension agents in 95 counties across the state help ensure Tennesseans have better farms, homes, and communities.
We're traveling the Upper Cumberland to introduce you to the farmers, families, and Extension agents who are cultivating communities.
Hey, welcome to another episode of Cultivating Communities with UT Extension. Chris and Katie with you. We're on our way to Warren County, Tennessee.
A little bit of a dreary day, but we are going to be seeing some good agriculture operations. Can't wait to learn more about the nursery industry and the nursery capital of the world. And I think we're going to see some hydroponics today, Chris. So I can't wait to learn about those unique types of agriculture.
Going to be a fun day. Let's go meet up with Heath Noakes and learn about agriculture in Warren County.
Good morning. This is Heath Noakes, the Agricultural Natural Resources Agent here in beautiful Warren County, Tennessee. And we are so very excited to host Cultivating Communities with Chris Hicks and Katie Martin. We're very unique here in Warren County. We're very, very proud of our agricultural landscape. Of course, the moniker, as everybody's heard, is Warren County is the nursery capital of the world, and that is true. We got over 250 licensed nurseries here. The county as a whole, the major focus of it is what's termed as woody ornamentals, and we'll go visit Lucas Patterson in Cedarwood, and he can give us a better description and be a whole lot more knowledgeable on it than myself. But basically what our nurseries do here, we have container production where they start little plants out, and we also have what's known as field production or balled and burlap, and that's what you see when you see the trees going up and down the interstate. But what they do is they buy liners, which is basically just a plant in a pot like you get at Lowe's or anything else. Take it, plant it in the field, fertilize it, care for it, prune it, make sure it's disease and insect free, dig it up and sell it to various landscapers, garden centers, places like that. The vast majority of them here are wholesale. We do have some nurseries that specialize on the retail side of things too, but you can go to Tennessee Nursery and Landscape Association. They have a buyer's guide on their website, and you can look through there, see what you're interested in. And also Middle Tennessee Nursery Association, you can go to their website, and all of the fine nurseries that join that organization are on there along with their contact information. And another hidden gem that we have with the nursery industry here is the TSU, Tennessee State University Research Center, and they have several acres out there on Sparta Highway, and I think there's about 25 to 35 people that work there, and what they do research to help the nursery industry. And for example, they do fire ant research. You know, what chemical's most effective, how long do you have to treat them, things like that. Do a ton of disease research. I like to tell everybody that moves in here, you move to Middle Tennessee, you kind of move to the human petri dish of plant diseases and insects. Every bug thrives, and every disease that plants can get, it's plentiful here. So they do a ton of work there and assist the industry in untold number of ways. But in addition to that, we also have several thousand acres, I think around 20,000 acres of soybeans, 10,000 acres of corn, and we're also, I think, pretty high up, maybe ranked somewhere 13th, 14th in the state as far as beef production. And we're also home to one of the largest and best livestock markets in the state right here in McMinnville, of our friends at Warren County Livestock just up the road. Another thing that we deal with a lot here in Warren County is working with more of the home horticulture side of things. We have a lot of people moving in and they all want to grow things too. So we have a thriving Master Gardener program. In addition to a thriving farmers market, we have approximately 70 vendors from March until November that set up downtown underneath the water tower in downtown McMinnville. Farmers market selling everything from what you're going to see a little bit here to beef to woodcraft to caramel popcorn. It is just an amazing array of different items available at the Warren County Farmers Market. Here, and when people say extension, the first thing that may pop into their head is 4-H or agriculture, but we also have a vast variety of programs in addition to that. Miss Hilda Lytle is our county director. She does the Family and Consumer Sciences program, everything from parenting to exercise classes. Miss Margie Foster is our 10-step program assistant, and she tries to focus on teaching people how to eat healthy. Of course, she's failing with me, but we have Allison Hopper and Emily Moat, our 4-H agents, and they do a phenomenal job of managing the 4-H program here in the county. They've got right at, I think, around 1,500 to 2,000 4-H members, exhibiting everything from hogs to horses, ski shooting. You'll have to ask them to get the rest of it, but you have an open invitation anytime. Just stop by our offices located at 201 Locust Street or give us a call at 473-8484, and we will be more than happy to help you any way we can. That's a promise from all of us at the Warren County Extension Office. Join us today. We have got a wonderful stop and tour for you. We're here at Living Greens Hydroponics here in Warren County. Join us as we go in and meet Mr. Yoder and his family as they give you a tour of their greenhouses.
Hello, this is Glenn Yoder, and I'm with Living Greens Hydroponics here in Warren County, Tennessee. And we are a family operation that's growing greenhouse vegetables. Our primary goal in greenhouse production is off-season produce, where you can buy fresh, local-grown produce in the off-season. We produce various different vegetables for the retail market here, where anyone here living in Warren County can come here and buy their fresh local greens and tomatoes and cucumbers, various other products that we produce here. Hydroponics is not a new thing. It's probably been in mainstream since the 70s. I've been in it in the last 20 years. Hydroponics primarily is where all your nutrients come in for your plant production through the water. It's a soilless root zone where we use a media. Here in our production, we use perlite in our buckets, where it's just intended to hold the moisture. All the nutrients are water soluble and come in through the water stream. Everything is automated. Each plant has its own little dripper, water source, and hydroponics is simply where you use a soilless media so that you can control all the nutrient components that come into the plant system. This is called a Dutch bucket. It's a Beto bucket system. It has a little thing here that inserts into this hole. It's the excess water goes out and drains out of the greenhouse. This is just a product called perlite. It's the little white balls you see in potting soil. This is all perlite. And then when we plant our plants in here, we start them in plugs of potting soil, and then each plant gets its own little dripper system. As you can see with our cherry tomatoes here, each plant here has its own little dripper, and that water system is turned on with a timer, and you can program in how often it gets, how often it gets watered, how long it gets watered, et cetera, et cetera. We start our plants here from seed. We normally start them in potting soil. Here are some young cherry tomato plants that have just germinated. And once they are about 6 inches tall, they go into these pots that we've talked about. They go into the pots, and that's where they'll stay for their production cycle. In hydroponic production, you want a steady production. You don't want a whole bunch at once and then none for a while. So with this system, you have very consecutive production going up the plant. And normally you can figure about 1 cluster a week once they start harvesting. So for us, we're actually a family operation, and labor is not necessarily an issue for us. We're a fairly small operation, you know, in light of some of the bigger hydroponic operations out there. But I would say just the technical challenges of growing vegetables and tomatoes and cucumbers in the off season. There's a reason why it's difficult to grow in the off season. Shorter day length, low light. We don't use supplemental lighting here as of now, but that is the limiting factor in hydroponic production, is the low levels of light in the short day length of the year and the cloudy winter season. We are endeavoring to produce when nature doesn't want to. And so we can heat this environment, we can, you know, give all the water we need, but if we don't have supplemental lighting, that's the limiting factor for hydroponic production. In here, if you do have a pest or insect problem, it becomes crucial that you stay on top of it, because it becomes a hatchery or a nursery for insects in here. It's a perfect environment for them. We use an insect screen on our air intakes to try to limit insects being introduced here. We primarily use organics. There are also there's a protocol that you can use called beneficials, where you bring normal predators for pest control. So we have that. For instance, in our pollination for our tomato plants, we bring bumblebees in, and they naturally pollinate our tomato plants. So there are definitely things that can be done to utilize natural means inside a hydroponic operation without using serious chemical sprays or things like that. We're very interested in providing quality vegetables and greens to the local community for retail. We do have some wholesale clients, but we're very interested in growing our retail side. And with the local food movement, where people are very interested in knowing their grower, what's sprayed on it, what are some of the practices that are implemented in the growth cycle of that particular vegetable. People can ask me these sorts of questions if they're interested in, you know, what they're putting in their mouth, you know, what they're feeding their bodies with. And so that's what we're interested in providing a high quality. We eat this stuff, my family eats it, so we're very interested in healthy production. Right now here at 5145 Ola Road here in McMinnville, we're open to the public, and so that's the address. We're actually expanding. Hopefully by March 1st we'll be open like 5 days a week here for retail. Right now we're open Tuesdays and Fridays, but we do wholesale accounts and deliveries Tuesdays and Fridays as well, but we will be open to the public on a larger scale here, hopefully by the spring.
Welcome welcome back, friends. Hope you enjoyed the tour of Living Green and Mr. Yoder. And we're with Lucas Patterson right now. They have a container, a bought and burlap nursery production facility, as well as the largest agri-tainment venue here in the area. So we'll turn it over to Lucas.
It's Lucas Patterson with the Cedarwood Nursery and Pumpkin Patch. We do a nursery year-round, also a pumpkin patch in October. We grow many acres of evergreens, maples, oaks, all that kind of landscape materials, and then the fall turns into a little fall fun fest. All the kids get to come out and pick a pumpkin and riding on the slides and the rides. And my dad's been doing it for about 40 years, so we're keeping the tradition going. For the nursery, we grow 1 gallons, 3 gallons, a few 15 gallons, and everything else is about bought and burlap. Like you see out in the field, we'll do 1.5 calibers, 2 inch. We judge all those by the size of the neck of the tree. We grow probably about maybe 80 or so thousand of 1 gallon evergreens, and then probably about 20 or 30 more of boxwoods and things like that are just little pieces that we pot up into 3 gallons. We sell a lot to landscapers, wholesalers, a lot of other nurseries in the area, and we grow pretty much all our own stuff and dig it out of the field whenever we have orders for them, and try to do what we can to keep them all looking good. We do retail and wholesale in the nursery. Mostly wholesale though, but the retail side, if somebody calls, give us about a week or so notice, we can make sure we have the trees that you need out of the ground, and we can get them loaded for you and all that jazz. And we also sell a lot of container stuff like hydrangeas, azaleas, daylilies, things like that people can drive home with any day. But it's always good to, if you are searching for retail items, to check and make sure that we are open or have them available before you head out. But we mostly do like landscapers and other nursery garden centers across the state and out of state. With the nursery, there's a lot of different things that can hit a bump in the road. There's, a dry summer, you lose a few months of growth out of some stuff. You might, some stuff might not make it out of that. We can't water everything all the time, so you kind of just have to take the losses what you can. There's always something, there's always disease or bugs or things like that getting in the stuff. Like there's a redbud blight that's been going around that's hitting a lot of nurseries around here hard. But and then just even slow seasons throughout the year. December, January is pretty slow, so you kind of have to make that up in the fall and spring to make sure we got enough to keep us going. We're always staying busy potting and planting and weeding and fertilizing. There's never nothing to do. So into September through October, we do a pumpkin patch. We have all kinds of activities. We have the hay maze, corn maze, we have jump pads, inflatables, we have the super slides, a pedal cart track, a couple petting zoos, we have a country kitchen and a gift shop, and there's all kinds of stuff back there that kids enjoy. And we also do field trips throughout the week. So it's something when the weather's nice, it's really nice to get out and enjoy the fall weather and pick a pumpkin. And everybody gets a pumpkin with admission here, so that's always nice. So everybody seems to enjoy it. So the pumpkin patch we've been doing for about, I guess, 22nd year this past year. We started it when I was in kindergarten. I wanted my dad to plant some pumpkins, so I planted some pumpkins, and then of course that was probably the best year to plant pumpkins because they all turned out and they did well. So my mom was a school teacher, so she was like, well, let's have a pumpkin patch. We have a little barn, we got some goats at home, little chickens. So we decided to do that, and then we built a little hay maze inside here, and then 22 years later, here we are with it just keeps growing every year, and people keep coming all across the state to see us. So. We do work pretty closely with Extension. I'll have a lot of customers call and they're like, well, what's wrong with my plant, or what's this, what's that? And if I don't answer, I always send them to them and see if they can lead them in another direction. Also, I was in 4-H when I was in high school, and I was the plant science winner for the state in that, so that's always a fun little tidbit. But we do work, there's meetings and things like that the extension agents come to that talk about maybe certain nursery things going on. Like I mentioned, there's a little redbud blight that a lot of the extension office in the Tennessee TSU Nursery Research Center is working on, so they've been helping with that, just keeping the information of what's going on in plants and throughout the state to all the other nurseries. You can contact us. We have a website, Cedarwood Farms, TN with 2 N's, .com, and then we also have an email, cedarwood@benlomond.net, or you can give us a call. Best way would be 931-939-3960, and you can get a hold of us, and if you have any questions about plants or trees, or have something you're looking for, just give us a call and we can see what we can do for you.
It's been a good day here in Warren County, learning a little bit more about hydroponic production, and of course visiting Cedarwood, seeing the nursery that they do not only in greenhouses but out in the field, and learning a little bit more about their agritourism operation.
Yeah, I always heard that Warren County was the nursery capital of the world, and they are. They still do a tremendous amount in that area, and Heath Oaks is a great guy, one of our favorites to work with. Really enjoyed spending the day with Heath. Hope you all enjoyed it, and hope you'll subscribe to our YouTube channel, continue to follow us on our Facebook channel, and join us next month for another episode of Cultivating Communities with UT Extension.
You know what we want? No, we'll give you something.
Okay. Yeah, if you could do something funny for a blooper, that would be amazing.
To host Cultivating Communities. I assume you can edit that.
We're about to be at the Dairy Queen. Are we going to the Dairy Queen? I mean, are you going to get something?
Well, I'll stop if you want.
I would get a blizzard if you did.
Okay. I'm good.
Let's blizzard it up.